Now let's look at spirituality. You may have heard or even used the term religion and spirituality interchangeable. Some even say spirituality is just religion for lazy people. While they aren't diametrically opposed, they aren't the same at all. For thousands of years, humanity has passionately pursued the ultimate answers to life and the universe. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What is the meaning of life? Historically, there have been two foundational routes to discover these truths: religion and spirituality. Religion is a personal set or institutionalized system of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices, the service and worship of God or the supernatural. Spirituality is the practice and experience of connecting to something bigger than you. It is the way individuals seek and express meanings and purposes, and the way they experience their connectedness to the moment, to self, to others, to nature, and the significance or sacred.
Uh, Religions are most often based upon the lives, teachings, and beliefs of a historical or archetypal figure like Jesus, Buddha, Moses, Krishna, Muhammad. These figures are the subject of worship and devotion and form the foundation of religious practices and rituals in the community. Spirituality, on the other hand, is based upon the practical application of the founders' teachings. They do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. They seek what the wise sought. So in religion, you're seeking to follow in the footsteps of Jesus or Muhammad or what have you. So you have people who wear put the ochre in their beard, or so it's red, like Muhammad had red hair. You're seeking to uh, walk in his footsteps, even physically mimic those people at times. Um, they seek to follow in their footsteps, whereas in spirituality, we seek what the wise sought. Okay. Africans were, before Arab or European colonization, spiritual. Now, many of us, even though we profess to study an African spiritual tradition, practice it as a so-called African traditional religion. They call them ATRs, African traditional religion.
Mhm,
They shouldn't be. It's spirituality.
mhm.
African traditions are spiritual. It's not religion. So African traditional religion, but that's how they practice them. We practice African spirituality like a Christian or Muslim. That's not attacking a Christian or Muslim. They're saying they practice it a certain way. It's a religion, right? And many of us are practicing like that. We're like Baptists in African garb or something. Nothing wrong with that as long as you know you're a Baptist, okay? Because we get like that. We like, man, I see so many people. I'm like, man, I'm like this at the church, but they talking about a rumor lie. And even we were talking the other day about people spiritual possession, and the possession that I see a lot of times, it looks just like people catching the Holy Ghost in church. So as long as you know you're practicing, you're a Baptist, you just got African clothes on, cool. Do that. That's dope. My father was the bodyguard for and head of security at Reverend Jeremiah Wright's church, and he would wear African clothes all the time, and all that,
He
and
said, I am African.
we were sitting there, and this priest said, Baba, you know how powerful would be if you practice African spiritual traditions. He said, I do. I'm an African spiritual Christian.
Yeah.
And I tapped the priest like, hey, don't. We've had this discussion. He ain't breaking from that. You can tell him because one, he had been to Africa many times, stayed there many years, and he had all kinds of African garbs and he knew more about the culture than most Americans did. You couldn't tell him nothing. So, but he was a Christian. But he knew that.